What's up, Taiwan? I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Sunday marked the 34th anniversary of the Chinese government's crackdown on pro-democracy protesters in Beijing's Tiananmen Square. While China has moved to suppress any public discussion of the event, survivors continue working to keep the memory alive. Taiwan Plus spoke with two of the witnesses who share their perspectives on the crackdown's legacy.
Hope turned to despair. The 1989 pro-democracy protests in China marked a turning point in world history. Threatened by the scale of the movement and the passion of its participants, the ruling Communist Party ruthlessly cracked down on protesters around the country, most famously in Beijing's Tiananmen Square. It's been 34 years, and in many ways today's China is unrecognizable from the country it was then. But for those that were there, the memories remain as vivid as ever. Zhou Fengsuo is one of the most well-known participants in the demonstrations. He now lives in New York, but in 1989 he was a student at Beijing's Tsinghua University.
所以我是第一个去天安门广场悼念，后来就有很多人在天安门广场聚集，然后慢慢的发展成一个全民运动，就不光是北京啊，中国当时有400多个城市参加。
Tiananmen today is remembered as a call for democracy by students in Beijing, but it all began with the death of a top Communist Party official. Hu Yaobang once held the party's highest office, but his liberal views on economic reform led to his removal. When he died a couple of years later, protesters took to the streets to show their support for Hu's ideas. From there, more and more people around the country began protesting, until the Communist Party, led by Deng Xiaoping, decided to put an end to the growing calls for democracy. Troops were sent to clear the demonstrators from Tiananmen Square on June 4th. The violent confrontation that followed was captured by much of the world's media. How many people were killed that day remains unknown. The number varies from hundreds to several thousands. Zhou says he saw dozens of bodies in a local hospital.
不惜一切代价要在这个指定时间去清场，所以就是说进入清场这个过程是非常血腥的，死了非常多的人，各个方面的，我们最后也是被坦克驱赶出来的。
Ordering the country's People's Liberation Army to fight its own citizens marked a turning point in Chinese history. Forced to choose between party and people, the PLA chose the party. It was a decision that not all within the military were willing to accept. Yao Cheng is a retired PLA Navy commander now living in Los Angeles. He says that Li Yaowan, then the political commissar of the PLA Navy, was sympathetic to the students. But his boss, Commander Liu Huaqing, was a staunch supporter of Deng Xiaoping. A purge was launched in the Navy right after the crackdown. Young officers considered loyal to Li were removed. Yao Cheng was transferred from his post in Hainan to the Navy headquarters in Beijing, where he replaced others who were purged.
同情学生的人就清除了大量的人，但是人清除以后，他需要什么？他需要人干活啊，他机关的这个军官他就缺了。在这种情况下，把我调到北京，我是89年的年底调到北京去的。
Recalling his time with the Navy, Yao says that most young officers thought the students were fighting for a good cause, but they did not speak out because they knew they'd be punished for choosing a side. He says for them, the decision to stay quiet was a matter of life or death. It's a powerful reminder of the scars the event has left behind on those who witnessed it, even for the ones ordered to carry out the bloody crackdown. And until the Chinese people can speak without fear about what happened, those wounds are sure to remain open. Rick Yi, Sam Hui, and Jeremy Olivier for Taiwan Plus.
Germany says it would deploy 2 warships to the Indo-Pacific region next year. The country's defense minister said a frigate and a supply ship will carry out operations to protect major maritime passages at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore on Sunday. The announcement made at the premier Defense and Security Conference in Asia-Pacific comes amid rising tensions between China and Taiwan and growing territorial disputes in the South China Sea. The minister, however, said the move is not directed against any nation. American Institute in Taiwan Chair Laura Rosenberger said she's looking forward to meeting with each of the declared presidential candidates in Taiwan. The head of the de facto U.S. Embassy to Taiwan is currently making her second visit to Taiwan since assuming the post on March 20th. Rosenberger will also meet with the president, vice president, ministers, and attend an event hosted by the American Chamber of Commerce in Taiwan. During the press conference in Taipei, Rosenberger said Washington will not take sides and will cooperate with whichever leaders Taiwanese voters elect in January 2024. A team from the Taiwanese University has launched a rocket from the south of the country. Leslie Liao has more details.
Liftoff. Danjiang University's Department of Aerospace Engineering successfully launched a rocket from a site in southern Taiwan's Pingtung County. It's the third school in Taiwan to do so. And judging from the reactions on the ground, the team was pleased with the rocket's performance.
实际上，2道的射高是4582公尺，那我们模拟大概是4600公尺左右，所以是只差了10几公尺吧。
The rocket wasn't intended to reach space. To do that, it would need to go 20 times as far. The launch was meant to test student-made integration systems and the onboard communications and telemetry. The team says they're happy with the result, especially given some of the limitations they faced.
有些材料是买不到的，因为美国那边会有出口管制。在这种情况下，就只能用性能比较差的燃料去研发火箭。现在淡江用的燃料其实是业余等级的，然后我们要把它做到5公里等级的射高。我自己个人认为是一件非常不容易的事情。
The team says it will take what it has learned to reduce vehicle vibration. Taiwan has increased spending on its space program in recent years. And with young university students making strides in the aerospace realm, the country's space ambitions could reach new heights. Patrick Chen and Leslie Liao for Taiwan Plus.
The problem of medicine shortages in Taiwan may soon get worse. The makers of 15 types of antibiotics have reportedly applied to raise the amount they can charge the national health insurance system. They say current prices do not cover their costs. About half of local drugstores have already run out of these antibiotics. Pharmacists fear the drug makers may quit the market altogether if an agreement cannot be reached. For the first time ever, there are more Vietnamese students in Taiwan than any other nationality. Experts say this is because of Taiwan's new southbound policy, which seeks to boost the country's ties with South and Southeast Asian countries. Bing Wang reports.
This Vietnamese student is learning Mandarin. She's part of a new wave of learners coming to Taiwan from Vietnam.
每天我用大概2到3个小时练习。
According to the Education Ministry, there are more than 16,000 Vietnamese students in the country, an increase of 35% from the previous year, making them the largest population of international students in Taiwan. Much of this has been put down to Taiwan's new southbound policy, which seeks to boost its relations with South and Southeast Asian countries to make it less dependent on China.
很多的产业链已经移到越南去了。那基本上这些越南学生，他同时来台湾学完之后，他不只可以留台，其实他也可以回到越南去。
Because of Taiwan's lead in high-tech industries, many of the students pick colleges focused on technology and science. As Taiwan increases cooperation with its neighbors to the south, college recruiters here say more international students can be expected to come to Taiwan. John Su and Bing Wang for Taiwan Plus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, we leave you with images of the 2023 Cliff Diving World Series held in Boston last weekend. I'm Ethan. Take care, and I'll see you next time.